everyone. Welcome to another review episode here on the Outlaw Nation channel. I am the Outlaw John Rocha, and I'm joined as always, or at least recently, for some of these reviews by my fellow Geek Buddies co-host over there, Shannon McClung. How are you?
Johnny, I'm feeling mysterious today.
That's a great way to put it. Well, I'm glad you're in that mood because that is part of the movie we are reviewing today. It is Netflix's new film that came out called Enola Holmes. It stars Stranger Things Millie Bobby Brown as the titular character. And yes, for those of you who may not know, she is the sister of Sherlock Holmes and Mycroft Holmes. And in this film, Enola Holmes wakes up on her 16th birthday and her mother has gone missing. Her brothers have left the house years earlier and they come back to the town that she's living in to discover that the mother is gone as well and to help with the search. But they try to stop Enola from helping with the search, and she breaks out her own as the strong, fierce, independent, intelligent woman that she is, and goes on an adventure and a journey to discover what happened to her mother and find out if she was kidnapped or if she left willingly, and what else might be involved here, what mysterious things might be involved here. So Shannon, you're a writer, you're an actor yourself. You look at these films from a certain perspective, a certain point of view. How did you feel overall about this movie?
I thought this was a blast. And in terms of Netflix's cinematic offerings, I've not been a big fan of their stuff in the past. I think this is easily top three or four. I mean, I would put this right up there with Extraction. I mean, This was just... I'm not a big YA fan. I'm not a big fan of the young adult genre, but I thought this was handled so incredibly well. I thought Millie Bobby Brown is such an engaging lead. And you can really see the fingerprints of I think Harry Bradbeer, the director, who worked on Fleabag. I mean, you really got this fun sort of breaking the fourth wall. She's engaging with the audience. Really, just like a great movie for the whole family. Like you never thought they were talking down to the audience. Enola is such a fun lead to follow, and Henry Cavill and Sam Claflin as Mycroft and Sherlock. What a great job. Sam Claflin, what a delightful stick in the mud. I mean, I was introduced to him through Pirates of the Caribbean 4, and I was like, oh, great, another pretty boy.
Right.
This guy's fantastic. I mean, so funny. Yeah. And I mean, just beautiful cinematography. The effects work really, really great. I love a chase on a train. This just checked all the boxes for me.
Yeah, I'd say overall I agree with you. I don't know if I was necessarily the demographic they're going after, but I am a massive Sherlock Holmes fan. So anything that expounds the universe of Sherlock Holmes, I'm certainly interested. I like the Robert Downey Jr. version. I enjoyed the Benedict Cumberbatch version. I haven't seen Elementary yet, but I certainly was a big fan of the Basil Rathbone versions as well. And Jeremy Bent, whoever did it on A&E, the ones that they would have on A&E, I enjoyed his Sherlock Holmes. So I do enjoy this universe. And this Enola Holmes is based on a series of novels as written by Nancy Springer starting in 2006. So Enola Holmes is a very new and recent character to the Sherlock Holmes universe, for lack of a better term. And so taking on this role could have been a lot of pressure for maybe any other young actress. But Millie Bobby Brown, if you're used to seeing her in Stranger Things, if you saw her in the Godzilla movie King of Monsters, this is a completely different Millie Bobby Brown. She is allowed to spread her wings throughout this thing and show you the breadth of her talent. Right from the beginning, she is breaking that fourth wall, so you understand what kind of film this is going to be. You as the audience are going along on this adventure with her, and she is constantly going to be checking in with you, whether it be winks when she's almost drowned by the villain of the piece, or when it's just little asides to you to let you know what she's actually thinking or what she believes is happening in whatever situation she finds herself in. And that could have gotten grating, that could have gotten annoying. It absolutely doesn't. Millie Bobby Brown does a fantastic job of bringing such great life to this character, such great fun to this character. And even when it turns into the YA section of the story, when she runs into that young lord there on the train and they have a will they or won't they type vibe throughout the rest of the movie, it doesn't slow the movie down. It doesn't get bogged down in a woman needing a man type thing. It very much flows within whatever situation she's finding herself in. And as the mystery stacks up, whatever however deep she finds herself getting into this world that could be dangerous for her. She's confronted with all of that as she goes through this. And we get to see her skills, her intelligence, her code breaking ability, her physical abilities, and everything like that. And there's this undercurrent of women, of strong women who are learning how to defend themselves. You know, this film is set in 1884. And so there's that movement is becoming a stronger and stronger force. Helena Bonham Carter has some stuff that she's doing with other women around a table. We don't know what it is. So we don't know what that, and that leaves us with a little bit of mystery, all of that. And the young lord is tied into some vote that's supposed to happen in the House of Commons that could affect the future of England. So this is a way bigger story than just a child trying to find her mom. There's more going on here.
Yeah, I mean, Millie Bobby Brown, I mean, most people, we know her from Stranger Things, where she plays, up until season 3, kind of a disconnected, kind of a you know, weird kid, and someone who's learning how to be a kid from her friends. Godzilla, I was not a big fan of that movie. I don't really think they gave her much to work with. But this, I mean, she is funny, she is charming, and it's heartbreaking as well, because this is a kid whose mom just vanishes one day of her own accord. At least that's what we're led to believe. And a lot of, like, with sort of the kid empowerment movies, I think a lot of times you dumb the adults down. You make it so the kid is able to, you know, knock a bad guy out with one punch. They don't do that here at all. When Enola is action, Millie Bobby Brown has a great Harrison Ford thing, where you can see on her face, like, oh, I've bit off more than I can chew. Yeah. I mean, and it's engaging, but it's also really, really funny. I mean, she has a fight scene with sort of like a local cutthroat, and you can see several times she knows what she's doing. Ultimately, she's just trying to get away. Yeah. But whenever she sort of engages him, maybe gets a punch in there, and then he retaliates, you can see her eyes get big. Like, oh, crap. I mean, so good. And yeah, in terms of the story, they don't dumb it down at all. I mean, it's very much like, it's clear like Helena Bonham Carter is part of like the suffragist movement. That's what it looks like. Suffragist, and yeah, I mean, they don't. It's a really interesting thing for families to introduce to their kids. Yeah, is, you know, there was a time when, and you know, obviously we're still in crazy times, but there was a time when things that you could do now you couldn't do then, and here's how people were able to get their rights. Yep.
Yeah. I think the period dress is fantastic. You mentioned the cinematography. You got to give it up to Giles Nutkins, who does the cinematography in this film. There are a couple of really beautiful shots. Well, there are a bunch of shots that are really great, well composed and lit, but there's a few beautiful shots when they're walking through the countryside. Her and that Lord Tewkesbury, played by Louis Partridge, or Louis Partridge. I don't know how to pronounce his name correctly. It might be Louis or Louis, but yeah, they're walking through the countryside. Some beautiful landscape shots, while the costume design is by Consolata Boyle, and you really do get brought into the world of that time of the 1880s in England. You know, she goes from the small town into London, and you get to feel the streets of London from that time. You know, the woman walking her dog rapidly as the carriages are going by on opposite sides of her, getting into all of that. Some of the dirtier parts of London, some of the more elevated parts of London. All of that is explored here in this movie. And the twist that comes at the end is actually a damn good twist. I thought it was going to be an easier twist than it was. And when the twist happens, you're like, okay, all right, you know what? I can buy this a little bit. And it has a topical social message to speak to people nowadays. This idea of one section of society not liking this other section of society that is trying to upend or make change within the society that will allow other people to have a bigger piece of the pie, that will allow more equality. There's a certain section of society that doesn't want that to happen, and that is what the twist is concerned with there. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and the movie is a great rewatch. Like, I watched it the first night it came out, and then I watched it again knowing that we were going to talk about it.
But yeah, I mean, and this is a 2-hour and 3-minute film, Shannon. It doesn't feel like it. It kind of whisks by because of the charm and the performances. And yes, you mentioned already Henry Cavill, Sam Claflin. They both do fantastic jobs. They're not in it a lot. Don't go into this movie thinking you're going to get a lot of Henry Cavill, a lot of Sam Claflin. It is called Enola Holmes. It's about Enola Holmes, and it's about her journey. And kudos to Harry Bradbury for doing that with this. Kudos to Jack Thorne, who wrote the screenplay, adapted from Nancy Springer's novel to make sure this is very much about Enola and not Sherlock Holmes helping Enola or Enola not being able to figure out and turning to Sherlock Holmes to help her figure it out. She is on her own journey, and it is the charming magnetic energy of Millie Bobby Brown that keeps us dialed in. I do want to mention a couple of the other actors. Helena Bonham Carter does a nice job. We don't end up seeing her as much as we'd like. So does that mean we might see her again if this becomes, because this is based on a series of novels?
It's a series of books. Yeah.
So we could see her return. Burn Gorman back again, doing a great villain. Lynn Thorne. Burn Gorman is just a perfect faced villain. Adeel Akhtar was great as Lestrade.
Right.
I mean, like, I've seen him in a number of things like Killing Eve and a couple other British projects, but seeing him really have fun with this character of Lestrade in a new and interesting way, and especially when he's going toe to toe with Enola about who knows Sherlock Holmes best. What a great, funny, and charming little scene.
Yeah, I mean, when I saw him pop up on the screen, I'm like, oh my God, that's Kumail Nanjiani's brother from The Big Sick. I mean, that's where that's where I recognized him from right away.
Yeah.
And yeah, he does a great job. And like, and if any of our listeners aren't really familiar with the Sherlock Holmes books and they don't know the Sherlock Lestrade dynamic, everything is there. Everything that you want from a Sherlock story is here, just with Sherlock in the background. It's just about Enola and Cavill as well. It was interesting because, like, watching the movie at the beginning, I was like, oh, I wish we got a little bit more Sherlock. And it's like, Cavill was the perfect choice for this Sherlock. I would not put him up against Cumberbatch or Robert Downey Jr., but for this, I'm like, he's great because he doesn't need to be in the spotlight. They don't take anything away from him. He's still very much the Sherlock that we know. Maybe a little warmer, but he is still the brilliant detective, and we just find out that, like, oh, that brilliance is in the genes. And here's hoping that we get more of these, because it's certainly teed up for the adventures, the cases to keep going.
Yes,
I mean, I think of everything that Netflix has put forth, again, cinematically, theatrically, this is the most franchisable thing that they have. I mean, without a doubt, because, you know, she's 16 in this. You know, Millie Bobby Brown is going to play this young of a character for a while, and I hope they take advantage of it, because it was really a great watch.
Agreed. Any issues with it at all? Any kind of maybe little things that bothered you a little bit about it that didn't overall work for you?
I mean, I can get into these are little nitpicky. Little nitpicky things, like when is it Tewksbury?
Yeah, Lord Tewksbury.
When Tewksbury, when they cut his hair turns color. I'm like, okay, so that was a wig. I don't know why I don't know why they couldn't get the same color. But no, I mean, not really. I mean, you know, I think generally people in our line of work, people in our industry, that we watch things, one eye enjoys it and the other eye is taking it apart.
Yeah, true.
And this, I can't think of anything really.
Okay. Yeah, I think the only thing that bothered me about the movie is I felt that Tewksbury became a caricature rather than an actual three-dimensional character, and I would have liked to have seen a little bit more from that. But hey, it's about time the guys play a two-dimensional character, because certainly women have been playing those kinds of characters for multiple decades in films, where they've been, not fully fleshed out characters that have just been helping the male lead get to where they need to get to. So I like the switch here, but I would have liked a little bit more. But in the end, this is an Enola Holmes story. So it is her that we're watching. It is her that we're following. And it is her that charms us throughout. You know, she's got this great lightheartedness throughout the whole movie that I really thoroughly enjoy. And I think you all will, who are watching. So, all right, Shannon, I think this is a good time to end the review. What is your feeling overall with this one, 1 to 10? What's your feeling?
Oh, this is an 8.5, 9 out of 10. Wow. Easy.
Strong statement. All right, 8.5 or 9. Got to be definitive.
You know what? I'll go 8.5. I'll give them room to grow. Yeah, 8.5.
I think I'll go 8 on this one. I do feel like there's some young adult aspects of it that didn't 100% connect with me and the Lord Tewksbury issue. But overall, this is definitely worth a watch. One of the best films that Netflix has done in quite some time here. I agree with Shannon in that. I don't know if I put it top 3, but certainly I'd put it in one of the top echelon of Netflix films that have come out. And certainly I hope it bodes well for the more of the original content films that are coming down the pike for Netflix. So I'm excited to see all of that. All right, that's our review here on the Outlaw Nation channel for Enola Holmes on Netflix now. Shannon, where can they find you?
Yeah, if you'd like to follow me on social media, on Twitter, it's at Shannon_McClung, on Instagram at Shannon the Geek Buddy, and you can also see me every week with Mr. Rocha to my right over here, and with Mr. Mike Vogel on the Geek Buddies.
There you go. And follow him on social media. He's like I said, he's a working actor, a working writer on a number of animated series. So give him some love and follow him. It's worth it. You can follow me at The Rocha Says on Twitter and on Instagram. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel down below. We'll keep marching towards that 15,000 subscribers mark. So come along the train, get aboard and join the nation. Also, remember to leave your comments down below about the review or about the film. Let us know what you thought about it. Let us know what you liked or didn't like about it. And I always look forward to reading those. I always appreciate you all's point of view very much. And don't forget to hit like on this video as well. That thumbs up button is really important. Some of y'all watch a lot of these reviews, but you don't hit that thumbs up. We really could use that thumbs up. So comment, thumbs up, and then share this video on your social media, because when you share it, you're telling people that you approve of this kind of content, and people who trust your opinion might take a chance on us and come aboard and join the nation. All right, that's it from us. Thank you so much for watching this review episode here on the Outlaw Nation. And look for more review episodes coming down the pike from us. Until then, take care of yourself, and remember, the game is always afoot.